cosmic changes, shakings. It is an unusual event which I announce to you. You will think that you are mistaken, yet time and again experience the same. Earthly tremors which are not caused by eruptions but always occur when the Earth stands in a certain constellation to the stars. So that the tremors can be anticipated on a regular basis and will not fail to happen. They will be barely perceptible and hence disturb few people, yet the investigations by scientists will give rise to apprehensions of the worst kind. Furthermore, as the phenomena intensify, they will also unsettle indifferent people once they realize the threat to Earth from other heavenly bodies, because having left their path the latter are moving towards Earth and time and again form a constellation which triggers these very effects. In view of the approaching end, people shall still be aroused from their calm. They shall remember their Creator and think about their own transience and the fact that they have no guarantee of passing into complete oblivion after their physical death. They have to be reminded of the end of their lives and also of the fate which will await them if they believe in the continuation of their soul's life. The last days will exhibit so much that is contrary to nature, given that people's activities and thoughts are already unnatural and result in consequences of the worst kind. People presumptuously and beyond their authority undertake explorations of the universe. They disregard natural laws and yet, their actions and intentions will not be prevented. The repercussions, however, will fall back upon themselves. Nevertheless, the end moves ever closer, and if people are yet to be helped by taking stock of themselves and becoming aware of their great responsibility, then an unusual activity on God's part will also have to be shown to them, even though it is still up to their own free will to take notice of it and adjust accordingly. And such unusual activity will be experienced by humanity in the forthcoming time. It will not be caused by people but takes place in the cosmos, in a region which is entirely subject to the Creator himself, which now seemingly slides into lawlessness, and yet even this event is integral to the plan of returning the spirits, since it is capable of leading to a change in many people because it is too extraordinary. But without compelling them to believe, for the unbelieving person will not even take the trouble to find an explanation since he lives utterly irresponsibly. And people's spiritual state in the last days has already sunk so low that even extraordinary natural events would not make them believe. Consequently, even these methods can still be used for the benefit of undecided people who need strong motives to seriously reflect on it and aim their will into the right direction. For whatever can still be done in order to keep the souls from the fate of a new banishment will be done by God, who loves humanity and does not want them to go astray. But every time he manifests himself in the manner it was announced, there will be fatalities, otherwise people would not allow themselves to be impressed and mutually accuse each other of self-deception. For the effects will vary from place to place, and it will take scientists a certain length of time before they succeed in finding the right explanation. But then the signs will repeat themselves with ever-increasing frequency and provide people with the evidence that something is happening in the cosmos which they cannot counteract themselves. And thus they are also subject to the periodically recurring consequences until, finally, the huge natural event will take place which will demonstrate God's might and greatness to people who believe in Him and who will also be protected in every adversity. Yet although people are repeatedly informed of an approaching end, although the preceding natural disasters are repeatedly pointed out to them, they won't believe nor change their way of life in the slightest. They do nothing to prepare themselves. They live in the world and love it, and look at the world as their God. And therefore they will remain attached to matter when the end has come. Yet everything is determined in the divine plan of salvation, and nothing will come to pass that has not already been taken into account since eternity. And thus even this unnatural event will take place according to divine will, and the day for this is also predetermined and will be upheld. Nevertheless, you shall be informed in advance so that your faith may be strengthened, because everything will come to pass as was said before, and because you will evermore recognize the truth of what is conveyed to you from above. For you ought to establish the connection between God and the world, with your fellow human beings who live without faith or thought. Admittedly, you will only be able to speak about it after the initial occurrences have taken place, since prior to that no one will want to listen to you. You will only find open ears and hearts after a tremor has happened, which will make people wonder, and only then should you speak, and then it will depend on people's willingness as to what benefits they will draw from these events. Amen.